He let the noise of a morose country song drown out the equally unpleasant noise in his head while he focused on the road in front of him. He was only 15 minutes from the ranch when his headlights sparked a glint in the distance roughly a mile up the road. A sleek black luxury sedan pulled off the pavement about 50 yards onto the hard-packed sand of the desert. Asher's nostrils flared as a sense of unrest rolled over him. Not many people had business this far off I-15, and nothing good tended to result when they ventured out into that bramble-choked sand cemetery. This deep into the darkened desert, and at this late hour, you either stopped here deliberately or under duress. Over time, he'd seen enough of both to know. His thoughts flashed to a night some 12 years ago, when he'd stumbled across a fellow breed male, a former hunter like him, in this remote part of the desert. The male's name was Scythe, and he dragged himself out to the Mojave to die in the sun after losing a woman he loved and her young son. It was Ned who'd insisted they bring Scythe back to the ranch and help him heal if they could. But it was Asher who'd ultimately refused to let the other male give up. He'd kicked Scythe's ass through weeks of recuperation, until his hunter brother was finally well enough to leave. Not that one good deed could ever make up for all the wrong Asher had done in his life. Wouldn't even make a dent, in fact. But he was glad that Scythe had lived through it, and although they hadn't kept in touch much, Asher had heard the male had since taken a breed mate and was living a good life in Italy somewhere. He had a feeling whatever was going on near the parked black sedan wasn't going to end nearly as well. Not his business. Not his problem, either. Asher scowled and turned off the music, silencing the raspy-voiced crooner who was lamenting about the woman he didn't know how badly he wanted until she was gone. Almost against his own will, his foot eased off the gas pedal as he studied the large car up ahead. It looked empty, though for how long he couldn't be sure. No visible tire issues, no scent of smoke or other outward signs of vehicle trouble, which meant the real trouble was taking place somewhere among the spindly Joshua trees and cactus patches in the desert off to the right. The old truck's headlights were dim as it was, but Asher doused them completely and rolled to a quiet stop several yards behind the sedan. He killed the engine and shoved open the rusted-out door. The instant his boots touched the ground, he knew with cold certainty that something was wrong. It was quiet, unnaturally quiet. No bugs scuttling over the sand, no scorpions clicking over rocks, no bats' wings beating heavy in the night. He tipped his head back and scented the air. People. 3 men. 2 apparently bathed in competing, cloying colognes, the other reeking from a recent meal laden with garlic. By the stench of it, the guy must have enjoyed a large garlic pizza with garlic crust, chased with a garlic smoothie. Voices sounded in the distance, bulky shapes moving against the black silhouettes of the scrubby trees and spiked vegetation. The trio of olfactory offenders were shoving another person ahead of them in the dark. The sound of something hard and metallic connecting with the soft flesh and bone of his skull was punctuated by a sharp, pained yelp and the abrupt shuffle of feet stumbling, and a body going down to the sand. "Get up!" The barked command was low, but reached Asher's ears like a gunshot. Another voice answered, this one pitched several octaves higher and talking fast, the words indiscernible even to his heightened hearing. But he didn't need to hear what was being said. The anxiety pulsing in the night air was unmistakable, as was the menace of the 3 men who had no idea they weren't the only killers in the immediate area.
"You heard him. Get the fuck on your feet and keep moving,"
ordered the second man, his garlic breath wafting on the light breeze along with his sadistic chuckle.
"Unless you want us to plant your skinny ass right here. The boss don't care how this goes down. Only that you never come back."
The soft cry came again, followed by a thready plea for mercy that made Asher's jaw clench. Fuck. Old memories roared up on him like a black wave, too swift and powerful for him to hold at bay. A chorus of similar begging cries filled his ears, his senses overwhelmed by the vivid, merciless battering of all the sins he'd witnessed in his past, and those he had perpetrated. Unwanted reminders of what he once was were bad enough, but teamed with his unique breed ability to experience anyone else's painful memories in full sensory detail and total recall with the briefest touch, made Asher's preference for solitude a necessity as much as it was a way of life. What he damned well didn't need was to get involved with whatever was going on between Garlic Breath and his heavily perfumed partners, and the scrawny teen who'd evidently irritated someone enough to order these men to drag the